It's my tag, man. My tag. What's with the lights? What's with the lights? What's up with the lights? Always with the lights. What's with the lights? Well, I'm an autistic female. Grew up in the 70s. And that one day when I and I aspired to grow up and live inside a light bright, and so I get to. So that's what's up with the lights, light bright. I always wanted to live. I always wanted to escape and lived inside there, but something's missing. See, I'm calling this called takeaway. I'm calling this talk takeaway. Because I had an epiphany today with the last 2 years that have been kind of hard for me. And the takeaway that I got, because today I got to turn in the keys and I didn't have to go back to the trailer, and I'll probably go back to the trailer one day, but I just didn't want to today. And she's been going over there feeding him twice a day, she said, and it's out of my hands. It's out, just like everything else. It's out of my hands. So I told her she could have the shot vac. So no, if I want a shot vac, I'll have to buy another shot vac. But that's all right. And but I've had so much love in the last 2 years. I got to love some feral cats and give some cats a good chance at a good life, and that's what's important. Is wherever I am, I just try to love things around me, And when we left Oregon, I was sad about the squirrels because they'd come hang out with me, and they're always running across the fence, around on the fence and stuff like that, and they're pretty social. I wouldn't feed them or nothing like that, but anyway, it's always something. You kind of leave a little bit of yourself behind every place you go, but then you gather new versions of yourself. It's evolution, and thank you, Ma. And so I think the takeaway, I guess, the history of that place before we got there, Mom, it wasn't quite as loving. So I think us being there, the takeaway is for us to purify that area, to saturate it with love, so the people that can come in behind have a better chance than when they would have if they would have just lived there before us without us purifying saturating it with our love of our critters and each other, and just us being together. We're coming up on that season where people act like they're so excited that they're related, but they don't talk to each other the rest of the year or make an effort or nothing like that. So that's my takeaway is. And whatever's going to happen to them is going to happen to them whether I'm there or not. And I'm just glad I don't got to be there to see it. And they got places, and I'll help the kid build a freaking catio if he wants to keep him more safe, if that's going to make his little daughter happy or whatever, I got all kinds of ideas of how to make things better. So well, that's all. I just think I hang out with Ma, and then I think about different ways to make things better, more comfortable for things, and life, everybody, everywhere, all over the town. I'm a thinker. I am definitely a thinker. I do take time to not think, though, in my meditate state. It's where I go and hang out in the no place space, into the ethers, I pray all the time. I pray all day long, and my prayers aren't extravagant. I just say, God. A lot of times I'll just say, God, thank you, amen, or God, please help me, thank you, amen. They're short and sweet, you know, and then when I meditate, I get and like going through rough times, sometimes I just go, I don't even know what else to do, and I don't want to think thoughts, so I'll just go through like the serenity prayer, just over and 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 over until the energy shifts. What?
That's a good prayer.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I agree with you. Or I don't know, just whatever I can do to distract myself. And energy's getting real freaking electric, and I don't know. I don't know where the moon cycles are or anything like that. But anyway, wait. One of the challenges here is that this trailer is probably as old as I am, and it's really neat. It's freaking totally pretty. I mean, I think it's cool. And Mom loves it. Every time we go into the bathroom, it's the same as the kitchen. No. It's the same as the kitchen. I think the moon might be coming up to being full.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I think the moon's coming up to being full. I can't tell. It's closer to full than like crescent though. They're out there. That's why I like old stuff. Old stuff is built better. It's more sound. You know it, and because we can't hear the chainsaw out at the neighbor's yard. I freaking dig it. I dig it. But because he cuts wood for like a couple hours a day, a few days a week. You know what I mean? And I guess he gives people in the neighborhood good deals, and you know that's all they do around here. That's what the rest of the world is going to get an opportunity to go back, or the rest of the I keep saying world, I mean nation, is to go around and. Want some fresh air? Here, want some fresh air? You warm enough, Ma?
Yes, I am.
Ma got a new wardrobe too. Found all this stuff that we haven't seen for a long time. I keep unpacking boxes slowly and surely. Now that I'm just here, I'll get to just focus on that. And trying to find places for stuff. But this is an oldie. And one of my favorite ever. It says, Lord, help me to be the person my dogs think I am. And it has my little exclamation point. See, that was the thing is I don't, some people are just supposed to stay friends. You're not supposed to get involved with and mesh your energy fields or, get that vibe. It's not supposed to be more than just friendship. I don't think I think a lot of people just sexualize so many things. You know it? I had a guy, I knew the guy for years and years, and I worked with him at Chevy's, and one day he was a total dick to me, and I couldn't understand why. And his girlfriend was my friend, and later became his wife, and then later became his practice wife. But, she told me, she's like, he had a dream about you. And I was like, okay, so, and she's like, I guess it was of the sexual, it was of the sexual nature and it freaked him out. And I was like, okay, so it was a dream. So be a fucking dick to me in real life? That doesn't even make sense. Handle your own shit. You know what I mean? I don't care. But people have sex dreams about people. It happens. It shouldn't. Can you not control yourself? Is that, is that what you're inclined? It's just, I don't even need to know. Go handle it yourself, but don't be a jerk to me. And people are just jerks. They can be. Just freaking mean, spiteful, just plain ugly, That's why it's so nice to live in such a quiet place, man. It's so quiet. I'll get up at like 5. I'm kind of worried about Artie. I got him on a CBD oil regimen now. Because Luna gets sore too. But Artie's showing, it's a winter. It's new aches, new pains. And when you get old and you're in the winter season of life, you feel everything, I'm grateful, Ma, you don't have a lot of pain in your feet. I think it's gone the other way for you. I think it's more numbness for you. Is that what it is? Sensitivity would be a better word. Right? I had a Brostrom procedure where they connected my tendons because my tendons have been severed since I was 16, 15. I fell 25 feet out of a tree, landed 45-degree angle, and didn't break a bone. I tore my tendons, and then for the next Yeah, it hurt for a number of years. I got a lot of bone spurs and stuff because of just rolling my ankle because there was no tendon to hold my foot from the bottom of my leg bone. And so, yeah, years of it just, my feet are just trash. That's why I'm glad that, so I can relate to the sensitivity of, because the freaking captain or major or whoever did the procedure, it looked like he cut, my scar, my incision mark, they don't care. It's just like, okay, let me get this and then I'll be back out on the golf course. Give me a couple hours, I'll meet you there. They don't care. Cuz it looks like he made the initial incision with like a butter knife. And there's like 3 hack marks, it's not one clean incision. And I was like, what? But now it holds in place, but sometimes because all the bone and the damage on the bone, it pops out, but it holds in the place and then it pops back in. So it's just like boom, boom, and it freaking hurts, man. Anyway, life is a trip. Life is a trip. Life is a trip, man. But I think it's just interesting how our lives, the story that unfolds as an astrology, Mom. I was thinking about that today. Because, okay, Edith and Butch, Greg's, we all come from fire. Greg's parents, my father's parents, right? Butch was a Leo. Edith, Sagittarius. Fire. Boom, boom, right? That, okay? My dad, Greg, Aries. You, Mom, Sagittarius. Okay? Then there's me, Aries, fire, and then the siblings that I have, my brother is a Virgo. And then my sister, who just passed away September 23rd, she was also a Virgo. I was in a Virgo sandwich. And they're both very imbalanced in the opposite ways. And I'm this Aries trying to be this balanced individual. It's a trip. It's a trip. Like, it's a great story, you know? And looking back, because I don't know your history. That's what I've been trying, Ma. I've been putting it out in the universe for years and years. And now we're like 10 miles from where you have a first cousin. But I think she lives in Albuquerque now. Um, but that's pretty close to getting you close to, home. You know what I mean? I mean, I think you're from around here. I mean, on an ancestry, like for first cousins, I mean, she's got like 38 first cousins. And a couple we've talked to, but people are not really into. I just want to know the story of, I mean, like, were her parents young? And then she was this young, born in 1950s with two club feet, with two disfigured feet. And then did the system take her away because they couldn't take care of her herself? Because that's what the system does, is they tell people what they can and can't do. And then so they created the orphanage to put her in the orphanage. And then so people that are pillars of the community can come in and pick whichever kid they want, like a kid pet store. Because that's what orphanages are, essentially. And then they go to whoever, Lucky for Mom, she went to a pretty cool guy, Robert Stinson Yoakum, Ma? And his wife, Kelly. I mean, not Kelly. That's your brother's name. Mom had an adopted Jewish brother. That's why I always looked into the Jewish stuff, just because Mom had a brother that was Jewish, so I wanted to know what it was like in his background. He died my 12th year on the planet, so that was 86. Yep, 86. That was a hard year. Anyway, so family lineage, don't know moms. Like grandparents, we found out, like, grandparent, like, I knew things from grandma because I'm Scorpio moon. I'm always looking into, I'm inquisitive. I'm curious. I want to know. Because as good as the best people are on this planet, they still got shadow sides. And I'm curious about those sides. About what those sides are about. And what they do there. Because everybody has them. See, I let people know what my shadow... My freaking temper. My freaking mouth. That's my... That's where my toxicity lies. I must have a way to balance it, because most people I know that talk a lot of shit, it reflects. It reflects in their hygiene, your oral hygiene. Yeah. Yeah. As you can tell, I mean, as you can tell. Anyway, but still, that's those are my character defects. Those are my greatest. Those are my biggest demons. Those are the ones that I try to breathe through every day. Because when I get fearful, when I get scared, I get mad. My fear always goes. It wants to go to anger, and I've been trying to reprogram myself for years and years and years, and I've done a pretty good job. I just don't think. I mean, I ain't ever gonna go, okay, I'm going to be 100% in this life. I don't think I'm going to be that person. I think I'm going to slip, and I think I'm going to have to give myself a break. Although, I do have more... It is really peaceful where I live. And once I'm more on this timeline and less on the other one, I'll feel hopefully more grounded. But I still got a lot of stuff to put away. And I don't know where I'm going to put it. But, and honestly, I'm so... I told the lady, I said, are you gonna make us? I said, are you gonna make us move in a year? And she's like, no. Oh, somebody's messing up. And she's like, no. I said, I said, good, cause I said, cause this is long term. Cause I said, if you don't, I said, if you don't make us, I don't ever want to move, kind of thing. And she's like, okay. So, someone's messing up. I was thinking about that yesterday because OBS 28 came out. 28.1. An update. And I was thinking about it earlier because it's secular. It's secular. They do everything. Everything is by moon cycles and stuff like that. They might not know that they're doing it, but if you go back and show release dates and watch them and how they conjunct into the planetary alignments, it's just, you can't make this stuff up. Anyway, so it had been a while, and I was thinking they're due to roll out an update. And so later that night, the update came up, and then boom, the next day, another update. See, technology, it's like colors in the world. Like when you paint, okay? If you're painting something and you're using all the pretty colors and you end up mixing up all the pretty colors, it'll end up brown. If you use all the colors, it always ends up brown, some version of brown, right? So in technology, we're coming into a brown because it's so saturated. They got this version and this browser. They got iPhones, Androids, and all the OSs, operating systems, for all the subcategories that have come out since I stopped caring, really, but I know they still keep coming out because that's what they do when they find something. They have people that work at these companies, and then these companies change, and then they quit, and then they go work for the other company, and they're like, well, here we did it like this. Oh, that's a great idea. Let's do that. And it just all becomes brown. and so kind of a shitty brown now that I think about it. And so it's just trippy. Things are going to get real interesting. People's behavior is and we've been talking, I mean, a lot of people have been saying the different version of the same thing is go to sleep. You're so tired. You do this when you're sleeping. What? Why when you're sleeping? Yeah. I might think my phone's gonna die. That's the thing about like from going from old to new is it's such an old trailer that the plugs are not really getting along with my phone charger. It's like there's a sweet spot in all the places. I gave you chicken. The chickens were running around a little while ago. There's a chicken coop they have. They have chickens. Oh my gosh, at the grocery store up here, at the little, cause I'm like 7 miles from out. We're out. So anyway, I went up there and I just did a walkthrough just to kind of get familiar with the kind of stuff that they have. Like, if I'm in a pinch and I don't want to go all the way into town, how much am I willing to pay to get, for convenience, right? Because that's the whole world. That's the thing, is they put out the word inflation, and then the whole world gets to say, okay, we're going to make them pay for convenience. I hate economics. I hate all the systems that are reindeer games. Politics, it's a circle of greed. I laugh at everybody that participates. I don't get any of you people. And one day you might think, people might think I'm crazy, but one day they're going to ultimately rise to the point to find out that how much nonsense it all really is. And maybe it wasn't at some point. Maybe at some point in history, there's a version that, it's been credible, but I'm Native American, so I'm not really willing to buy that crap. I mean, it's always some freaking group that thinks they're bigger, meaner, tougher, that tries to take shit from the smaller group. And and enough is enough. And because there's too many good, decent human beings on this planet, man. I really like that lady's tube. Her talks or she has. I don't. I can't. It'll stick in my brain one day. But I'll probably go watch one when I'm done here because I'm trying to do it sparingly. She doesn't have that many, like 200, less than, I don't know, somewhere around 200, and she what was I even talking about? He just takes the thoughts out of my head. Oh, I was listening to Lunatic Astrology. I meant to talk about that too. She makes me laugh. She's funny to me. And I don't know. I think a lot of people have opinions about how other people should do things, and sometimes, and I'm talking to myself right now. I hear myself. But she nonetheless, she is funny, and she was talking about politics and how, I don't know, people have been commenting to her because they think that she cares one way or another, and she really doesn't. She's just saying what the astrology is saying, right? People get so bent out of shape, they think the world really does revolve around them. And just listening to her express herself is kind of funny. But she cuz that's the thing is, like, my brother the lawyer we've talked, and he's like the history buff. I don't know. He's a fraternity guy. He's in the club. He's the, what do you call it? I mean, you Google him. I mean, he's like the assistant to the General Counsel of California. Evidently is what his title is. And I mean, he's a brilliant guy. He's just all, and he types like nobody I've ever seen. he sacrificed me and Mom, and at least he has a really good life though, Mom. At least he didn't sacrifice us and then just turn into a bum. By himself. At least he did it for a wife and a couple daughters, kids, the dog, the house, the title, the cars. I don't know. They probably both drive Audis at this point. So at least they got a good life out of it. And at least we get to see the good life that they got out of it. We're not swimming with the fishes. Because a lot of people get sacrificed in much worse capacities than we have, it? But, so all in all, I don't know. It was kind of I've been thinking about Jessica a lot. And, I think not only do I think about Jessica, I think about all these other people that I've known in my life that have lost a sibling. And I thought, how sucky that would be. And now I know how sucky that would be. And just, I think that's another part of astrology and about family lineage and stuff like that's weird, is because his dad got into my dad got into an accident outside of Phoenix, about 100 miles, and had a ride in a helicopter to Phoenix, and then he was in there for ICU for a month until they decided if he was going to live or die. So he had his massive head trauma, right? And then that's where Jessica died from a motorcycle accident from a head trauma because she wasn't wearing a helmet, and so head trauma, and then and so how that coordinated, like, because it's a trip how life is. I mean, and I can see if that's the cool thing about it is that's why I love to hear other people's stories and ask about their birthdays and stuff like that, because Tucker, stay asleep. It might get loud. Tucker's knocked out. Good. It's the CBD oil. Yes. Anyway, maybe I got an idea. But I love to hear other people's stories about their lives, because you can hear, like, the karma. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like to me, I believe that it's important that I die drawing sober breaths from alcohol, because that has always been a point of contention for me and other people in my family. There's been addicts and drunks and stuff all the way back. You know, there's a lot of fire. Like, there's a lot of us that have had struggles with that. And if I could die sober, then I feel like that I can heal that and make it easier for the generations that come from behind me, that say that maybe that they can look at me as a good example. That, okay, she went through a lot, you know, because it's documented here. I went through a lot in my life, went through a lot in the last 6 years. My stories, they're here, you know. I have people all over that can verify my stories to be true, whether they want them to know them or not. People know me to be a person of integrity. I've never been I'm a terrible liar. I'm a terrible liar. I'm bad at it. I just assume somebody take the heat for somebody knowing what I actually did. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Instead of freaking having that potential out there just floating around waiting to freaking land on me somewhere. So, anyway, I think I've been running my mouth long enough. Yep, I'm about at the half-hour mark. My voice starts to get tired. I don't know how, I do know how people can go on and talk for 2, 3, 4 hours, stuff like that, but I already during the day hear the sound of my own voice too much, I feel like. So, oftentimes saying the same things, repeating the same things over and over. So, anyway, I hope people are grateful in their heart today. I really do. I was struggling with gratitude for a while there. I really was. And often days I do struggle with gratitude. When on days that I'm having a hard time, that's when it's important that I take time to recognize it. He's so tired. He's done this since he was a little cat. He's just so tired. Just go to sleep, and then I'll see you at freaking 3 a.m, buddy. So, yeah, gratitude. And how ugly life can get for me. And I do feel like I've aged. I feel like I've aged, like... Stop! Now you're talking over me. I feel like I've aged like 6 years. Anyway, that's it. I'm done. You ruined it. My talk is over. That's what I got for now. Hope you have a rad day.